There is a fifth dimension, beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge. This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call the Twilight Zone.
Hello and welcome to Fulton Street Beats. It is early in the morning, I just woke up. I decided today I'm going to do a video to take you through the process of what it takes to actually make a video for you guys. So you understand some of the hard work that a lot of us creators go through. So right now I'm in the studio. I worked hard last night, all night, and created a bit of a backing track here in Reaper. And that's going to be my starting point. And I do it a little bit differently because I transfer my files over to Reaper directional, right? But I transfer them from Audacity. So basically, I don't see a loop back option for Reaper. So I use Audacity to do my loop back and then transfer over and then do all my fine tuning with Reaper. At least that's how I'm trying to attempt to do it. So anyhow, when you're doing videos, we got a lot of equipment. This is just my little area, and this is my studio area that I'm working in right now. Closed field monitors and various applications and some mixers and some studio headphones, and depending on what we're running, we have to unplug and plug and do all kinds of crazy stuff. And a lot of the time, I don't even use these microphones a lot of the time. This maybe we will today just to show you the process. And we have our MIDI keyboard over here, various little amp heads, some bass amps, some guitar amps, some amps in the other rooms, some various guitars that are there to grab in the studio here, and these guitars and what have you. And then we have our green screen over here with another screen behind it. And we have another guitar that I grab for quick reference. Then I have some speakers over here on the wall that I use as my reference playback speakers. And they used to be mine. They used to use for mixing, and they actually did a pretty good job. But now they're just set for playback. And I do that to give myself a sound field way across the other side of the room here in my little corner. And so I work that. So first thing we're going to do here, we're going downstairs and we're going to grab some coffee. Then we're going to start working on some ideas. Now, of course, my idea is already picked because, well, I'm showing you what we're going to do. But we're going to actually record a song today. And we're going to set up the green screen and do all this just to show you. And by the time we're done, it's going to be, well, about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And right now it's about 6:30 in the morning. So it takes a while to get everything done. And that's having a plan. Now, if you're just kind of going at it willy-nilly, it doesn't work out that way. But we're gonna do. I'm gonna take you along for the ride. I hope you'll stick around and enjoy this episode of Fulton Street Beats. And but right now, let's go get some coffee so we can wake up and think straight. I'll be right back. Okay, so here we are in the Fulton Street Beats kitchen. We got the lucky Chibson shirt on today, and we have our coffee. We are going to head up to the studio and start this little production we got going on here. And most of the fam has gone out of the house. We have one of my daughters left here. Say hi, Tater Tot. You getting ready for school? Okay. Daddy's going to go work now, okay, honey? All right. So I'm going to head upstairs and do some work. And for those of you who don't know, we've been remodeling a big Victorian. So we have plenty of room here, which is fantastic. But my studio is now upstairs where it used to be downstairs. So let's get you in here in the studio, and we will go from there. Okay, so right now I'm not using any microphones. Normally this would be the microphone that I use of choice when you hear my voice on videos, and it's very clear and very nice sounding. That's the microphone I use. That's an NW800, a very inexpensive microphone that's been compared to microphones that literally cost in the tens of thousands, and which is really weird when you start. That's why we do budget gear here, just to just to see what can be done with cheap things. And if you look around the studio in various corners, you'll see cheap gear everywhere, but I tend to keep what works. Some of my latest reviews was on these, we call them Yo-Yo or Yo-Yo or Ho-Yo, however you want to call it. Anyhow, they're these little wireless system, and they work fantastic unless they're next to a security system. Then they don't work so good. Then you get a little bit of interference. So, note to thieves, I have to unplug my security system when I'm using those. So what we're doing is we're going in here, and we have a backing track that has been, well, I've been working on and cleaning up a little bit and taking my time with that. And I go down through, and these are some nice Donner near field monitors. They work very well. And very important part of this process. Now, I am a horrible mixer. I can get it so it sounds good to my ears and on my studio monitors. My ears aren't trained right now to do any professional mixing for sure. So I have to do what sounds good in my ear. The problem is when I go to final production and rendering, it gets really muddy on me. So I'm learning, so bear with me. I am old school, I'm all analog. Now, if you ask me to set sound for your show, yeah, I can run sound like you wouldn't believe. I'm gonna record into an 8-track or anything like that, unbelievable. But going into the digital world, I'm an old guy. I'm old-fashioned. This is all new to me, but I'm working on it, so bear with me. But I think we might have some good production on this one. And this is a sneak peek of what I'm working on today. So, very clean, very nice, very simple. It's a 3-minute track, and this 3-minute track is probably going to take us all day to complete. So what I have to do is we have to go into here, and we got all kinds of effects we can add. Now this one's already been done. This is all ready to go. Everything's crisp, everything's clear, but we're going to have to add our guitar track to this later on. And I'm going to have to decide, and yes, when I do my final, I have a pair of studio monitors that I actually use. These are one of my first reviews. These are Stage Right. I think I got these through Mono Price. They're Stage Right studio monitor headphones. One of the best investments, inexpensive investments that I've ever made. Now, these compared to, say, these are final playback headphones. And these will enhance and they make everything sound incredible, but that's not what I wanted. I need something that makes it sound flat, and these are my mixing headphones. They work really good, very long cord. Of course, I'm a big Donner fan. I haven't had anything that's Donner disappoint me so far. Now, is there better? Of course, but as far as their quality for what you get, I'm using one of their audio interfaces. I was using a Scarlett, and believe it or not, I like the ease of this one better, and it doesn't give me a lot of hiccups and kicking me out and having to set things and going back in. It stays where I put it, and I like that. So, and it meshes really well with these inexpensive. I mean, these things were like, I think $100 for these monitors with every input and everything that you need on the back for proper production, and they really do produce a nice flat sound, but a big sound if you want. And it has adjustments for the different size rooms on the back, everything. Donner, very good, very good. Everything, their guitars, everything. Now, are they perfect? No, but for the price point, Donner makes some really good stuff, and I hope that they don't jack their prices up. And I know I'm going off on that, but it's a lot of the stuff that I use. Then we have a mixer over here. This mixer over here, low budget mixer I use. It's got actually it'd be six inputs, but realistically I call it a 4-channel mixer. The reason I went with this mixer is because it has the option to run directly out for recording directly to your iPhone or Android, and that's really, really hard to find a direct connection like that, and this one does really well. So if most of the time when I'm talking, I'm using this mixer right here. What you can't see is another really nice microphone that the phone is mounted kind of next to right now, so you can't see that. Then we have a live sound card that I used when I first started this channel over here. I use this as my fallback, has a lot of effects on it. But this is basically the studio. We have, like I said, our various guitars, and I'm proud of you guys. You guys are awesome. So my first 2,000 subs are up here. We have my first 450,000 views are up here. We're over 500,000 now, and growing every day. So it's really cool. So what I'm going to do, my next step here is finish this coffee up here, and we're going to pick a guitar off the wall that's going to suit this track the best, which means I'm going to go through, have to tune up every guitar, and then start playing to get a bass line, each one of what is going to sound best with this track, get an idea of what I'm going to play over this backing track, because, well, I don't know what I'm going to play over it yet. So I just thought it sounded great, right? Very simple, very nice. I've done a bass overdub on this and took out the other bass, so the bass you're hearing is me. Basically, it's the same that was played on it. I just wanted to do it myself, so that's me. You might hear a little bit of the other one in there also in the finish, but I wanted to add some me into that. And then, I don't know, we may use the Strat, we may use the LP, one of the LPs, we may use the SG, I don't know yet. I was even on the fence of maybe even throwing an electric acoustic. Cat's out of the bag. Yes, we have an electric acoustic that has came. You'll be seeing that shortly. You'll be seeing an unboxing video. Something I've had my eye on for a bit, and then I only think there's one video out about this particular guitar, so that's going to be cool. So this is it right here. And I know this is a long video, but I'm taking you guys through the process. So I'm going to stop you right there. I'm going to figure out what guitar I'm going to use here, and go from there. We have to, can we go over here? Now, if I'm going to move you around here, we got to go back here, and I have my little amp. I'm going to be running through a Purple Wind amp today. Why? Because it's clean. It's a very clean amplifier, and that is what I want, is a clean amp. Not, and the Purple Wind, the Nano Legacy Purple Wind, is based off from a Marshall Plexi. So it gives us that Marshall Plexi sound. And then we got to find our pick, which is sometimes difficult also. We'll turn on the power. I have lots of picks, but I have my favorite pick, which is someplace around here. There it is. My new favorite guitar pick, and I'm gonna have to order some of these. These are a Dunlop Altex, and it's got a rhino on it. And I'm not even sure what gauge it is, man, but it's awesome. It's over 2, I know that, but so we're gonna make sure everything's in tune. Now, if you see this string, we're missing a string on this string, but it doesn't affect me from really playing it, because sometimes I still grab this, and the reason I haven't restrung this string is because I have new strings on order. So we figure out what we're going to be playing, and the outputs of these guitars vary, so we vary with our audio interface. So then I figure out, well, what's going to sound the best. So I have to do a test track, and what I'll do is arm this track. You got to arm it, go in, we'll hit record. And we're going to start playing this and try to develop something. And I'll probably stick with this to develop what I want to do over this track, because that's undecided also. So we are armed, we're going to hit record, and you guys aren't going to hear anything spectacular because it's recorded through the phone. And we'll see what this sounds like here, if I can come up with something in my head real quick. So this is kind of how I do it. This is my process. And I roll with it. So that float sink in for a little bit and see if that's going to be a nice little groove. Got the groove going in my head. Back and see how this sounds. And what I like to do in the meantime while I'm listening to the playback is figure out what guitar I want to use. So we'll unplug the scrap. We'll grab a different one. And now this one won't be recorded, but it's giving me an idea of what I've already done. So I have the idea down, and I'm going to listen a little bit here. Okay, so now that we have that figured out, you guys haven't seen that yet, but we figured out what guitar that I'm going to use over this track. And now we go back, and any recording that I've done testing this, we're going to get rid of. Because we do not want any of that. And we're going to keep our track armed. And what I have to do now is come back in and precisely set the levels. And we're going to be using a green screen today, so we're going to have to use the Yo-Yo. Now this may be Ho-Yo too, because it's a J. I don't know, but these are pretty cool transmitters. They're a JW03. They look like Batman when you turn them on. Here, they look like the Dark Knight there. So, and you guys, I don't know if you've seen the review of these. They work fantastic. I have had no interference with these other than the my security system, and I got a wireless security system around here. And obviously one of the cameras out of 8 is on one of these channels. And this gives me I can select between 4 different channels with these. However, it appears that another camera would be on another channel, which is doing some interference. So I simply shut it down while I'm using these, and then there's no problem. No big deal. I can set it on a timer to kill the power. Comes back on. Don't have to worry about it. No fuss, no muss, so I don't forget to arm my security system. So that's pretty cool. But anyhow, these do work really well. They have a really long battery life. I've not ran the batteries dead on these whatsoever. The testing that I did on these, I went down and outside and into my backyard, and I was still getting signal. So if you haven't seen the test video on these, it's pretty cool. They work good. So do I recommend these? Yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, for the price, it's super cheap. I think it was like $35. Not too expensive at all. And it comes with a charger. Charges them both at the same time in 8 hours of use. So, which is cool. I haven't tested that full 8 hours yet. I've had them on for 8 hours, and they never went dead. But as far as under use, I don't know, but it's a long time. I haven't had them die on me at all. So we'll be using these today. And the reason being, because we're going to be over at the green screen, and I don't want a lot of cords running over that way. It's a catastrophe. It's a recipe for disaster. And that happens a lot with cords. I hate cords. So we'll do the green screen today. I'll show you that. That'll be where we're going to head to next. And followed by many, many takes to get it right. That's right. It's not just a matter of hitting record. We want it to sound kind of decent. So sometimes we get it in one take and we roll with it. Well, sometimes it's good enough where I go, you know what? Most of it's good. Let's roll with it because maybe it won't get better. Sometimes I do that, but usually it takes a few takes. So let's get over there and do the green screen. And then we'll get back into the video editing after we do that, which is a whole different world. Stay right there. Be right back. Okay, so now we've chosen the guitar of choice. We have our transmitters plugged in. We have the interference taken away. And we just tuned it. So that was the next steps to make sure everything's in tune. And now we're going to test function. Okay, and here we are in front of our green screen. Now here I can choose to put any effect that I wish to put in. Still not running any microphones. We're still using open air sound with a recording device. We are running, like I said, wirelessly, which is nice. I'm not going to use a strap today. So I got the guitar set kind of where I want it. We're going to use a middle position, which is a blend of all three pickups. We have basically a split on each one, which is going to give me a nice tone. I'm not too terribly loud in the room right now. I'm going to play very low, and no headphones today. So let's start rolling and making this backing track an actual musical extravagant piece of art. Okay, maybe not, but let's see what we can do with it. Okay, so here we are now back. We've just done our initial recording and another pot of coffee down. And we're going to back it up. And now we have this into our Reaper program. And we're going to see how it plays back by itself. We'll do a little playback here. And you guys will be able to hear it through the phone. Now, this is where it gets difficult because we have to make sure everything's flat. This is where I add any effects if I'd like to or anything like that, but let's see the raw sound of the guitar. wave is very close to the background wave, so that's in size, and that's what I'm going for. Now I can adjust it just up or down. Okay, so I'm going to pause this right here. Now what I do now is I'm going to mute this track up top. We mute this and we're going to see just this. So what we're going to do now is you can see how flat and bland that is, and that's on purpose, but we can add some effects. So we're going to go into our effects box here, and let's see what we can do as far as dynamics go here. We got no presets on that one. No. We're not going to actually, let's take that off and go back. And this is where we run into, like, there's just so much that we can do here, just so much. So we'll take that off, and we'll go back to effects, and let's see here. Let's remove all effects. All effects are now removed. And now we can go into effects, and what do we want to do? We want to do a little reverb. So let's do a little bit of reverb. Let's see what we can come up with here. We can mess around with our room size. Okay, here is the program I use. It's called Video Proc Vlogger. And some of the stuff, I'm just going to tell you about this real quick because it's just it's too involved, honestly. So basically, I'm going to go in here and set my resolution, which I recorded these videos at 2K. So they're 2K videos, and my resolution is set. We're not doing anything custom. We go up here, we'll do a project name, and then we hit new project. So we'll just put studio. Ooh, we gotta help if I spell it right. Studio look. We're just gonna put it like that, and new project, and it's gonna pull this up, and then I'm gonna go into here, and this is where I can drag any file that I need to drag in and do what I need to do. This requires a lot of editing, and when I am done with this, I will try to get you the finished product of kind of how it looks. But this is where we go in and we add our green screen, and that is a whole video in itself. Maybe if you guys are interested, I could show you how to do that. But basically, I have different screens that I could add if I want to go into my downloads over here. We have different screens, such as even movable screens, and we could put that down here, and this would actually be a type of one where you could use, which we're not going to use this, but you see what we have going on here. So pretty cool. I can repeat this throughout the whole thing and keep a moving background if I want to. But that is a little taste of the video editing aspect. And this is what takes, honestly, the most time for me is editing the video. So when we get done, you're going to see the finished product at the end of this video, and if you want to just see the finished product, I will do a separate video with just the playing. All right, here it is, guys. So congratulations if you have made it this far. You've made it to almost to the end of this video. It has been literally an all-day process, and I want to thank you for joining me. And now we're going to go into, well, I was just showing you some video, so let me switch you around here so you exactly entails here real quick. So here is the video program. that I run, and that's Video Proc Vlogger. And as you can see, you've already seen a lot of this because, well, I have finished a lot of this. So, but if you go back, we have our, you can see the playing that we just did here, and I'll click play for you here if I can find. There we are, and there we are. And push play. And that is exactly what we were doing here. And as you can see, there's a lot of splitting of, this is the audio tracks down here. We have our green screen track. We have overdubs for visuals, you name it. Lots of pictures that were introduced. And this is a very easy program, but also complicated at the same time if you've never done it before. So we have our finished product here done, and the last part of it is going to be this piece that you are watching right now that we are going to add into the end right here. And I want to thank you guys very much for watching Fulton Street Beats, and this is just to show basically what it entails to do a video. And honestly, there's a lot of guys that get into it a lot more than I do. This is a lot of work, so a lot of people complain, why didn't you do this or why didn't you do that? And sometimes we get a little upset and we say, hey, why don't you start your own channel and do it? Because it can be very frustrating sometimes when you go through a lot of work like this, only to find out that in the end, something messed up. So we started out, 6:30 this morning. It is now going on 4:30 p.m. And I don't know if this video is even going to make it up tonight or maybe possibly tomorrow, because I do have to proof it and all of that stuff. But thanks for watching Fulton Street Beats, and if you appreciate this kind of content, hit that like button, share, and subscribe, and I'll definitely bring you some more. We got some cool reviews coming up soon too, guys, so thanks for watching, man. I appreciate every one of you. I'll see you soon. Bye.